Hello and welcome to another video. Now, in Japan there's the term hikyo-eki. This refers to a station, normally rural, although it doesn't have to be, that's sort of out of the way with not many services, not many passengers, probably difficult to get to, that sort of station. One of the most famous hikyo-eki in Japan is in Shikoku, just here. This is Tsubojiri Station, and I'm going to pay a visit. You'll see though that the train isn't actually on the track by the station. This is because Tsubojiri Station is a switchback. And so what the train does, it goes past the station and then into this siding off the main line, which you can see to the left. The driver then comes to the front of the train and drives the train back into the station, like this. Luckily, almost all of the trains that call at Tsubojiri Station are only one carriage long trains. It is a very rural line, and as you'll see, it's a very rural station. At the same time though, it's a very beautiful station. It's beautiful in its remoteness, but also in its simplicity. I've been here 4 or 5 times now, maybe even more. And it's a station I keep coming back to. Anyway, as you can see, we're now on the track that does actually go to the station platform. The track we just passed on is now to the right. And this is the station platform itself. Right, first things first, I'm going to watch the train I just got off depart. As you can see, it rejoins the main line and then heads on further down the valley. So, with that train gone, I have about 90 minutes until the next train. For Tsubojiri, a 90-minute interval between trains is actually quite a short interval. I think the last time I came, I was here for nearly 4 hours. Not that that was a problem. It's a wonderful place to just spend an afternoon. As of the current timetable, there are 3 trains down the valley, so in the direction my train just went, and 4 trains a day up the valley, so through the tunnel you can see in the picture now. There are also express services to and from Kochi, which bypass the station completely, like that, on the main line. The station was opened in 1950, and surprisingly, it was staffed until 1970. I say surprisingly because the only way to the station is by train or on foot. There's no road that leads to the station at all. The station is situated in a valley, and if for some reason you did decide to walk, it's apparently a 30-minute walk over the hills from the nearest village or settlement. What is perhaps even more surprising is the fact that when the station opened, it was used by about 100 people a day. Presumably people going to school, people going to work, farmers sending vegetables by train, etc. It even had a staff of 10, which I find incredible, really. Now though, the only reminder of that period is the station building itself. As I said, from 1970 the station was unstaffed, and the most recent figures for station usage are 2 passengers a day. That figure of 2 people a day is an average though, and I'm sure it's tourists, basically. I find it very difficult to believe that there would be any regular users of this station. I'd like to think that even now there's one person who uses the station on a daily basis to commute to work or to school, but realistically, no. This is a station now for railway enthusiasts, almost exclusively, and let me show you why. The most obvious route to and from the station is across this little, well, I call it a level crossing, but it's hardly a level crossing, it's a track across the railway. And this path heads down there. The building you can see, by the way, is just a ruin. The second route from the station is to a hamlet called Koyatoko. But to get there, you have to climb this hill. Sorry, but I honestly can't see someone doing that every day. Anyway, even if the station is only for rail enthusiasts and tourists, to be honest, I don't really see a problem in that. As I say, it's a beautiful place and it is incredibly peaceful. Apart from when the express trains pass, of course, but basically there's only one express per hour in each direction. Other than when the express trains pass, there's the sound of the wind in the trees, the burble of the nearby river, and the birdsong. And that's basically it. At this time of year, especially with the blossom out, the whole place reminds me in a way of the Garden of Paradise. The peacefulness, the seclusion, and, let's face it, the beauty make it almost otherworldly. Still, in a Garden of Paradise there are serpents, and Tsubojiri is no exception. In fact, this sign is for mamashi, which are poisonous serpents. Today is quite a warm day. In fact, I'd even say it was humid. And I have heard quite a lot of rustling as I've been walking around the station. I've seen quite a few lizards, only quite small lizards, but lizards nevertheless. I don't mind lizards that much, although I wouldn't say I like them, but I'm going to keep telling myself that it's probably still not quite warm enough for poisonous snakes to be out and about. Having said that, though, there are lots of dried leaves here, and I can hear quite a bit of rustling from underneath those leaves, so it's probably best not to take any chances. In all seriousness, what you would end up doing if you did get bitten by a snake, a poisonous snake moreover, doesn't even bear thinking about. Would you have to walk over the hill to the hamlet? Would you have to just wait for the next train? Would you have to flag down an express train? I don't know. As I say, it doesn't bear thinking about. Anyway, back to the relative safety of the station. This is the little square, if you can call it that, in front of the station, and this is inside the station building. Inside the building, where even the sounds of nature are shut out, it really is incredibly, almost unbelievably quiet and still. I'd have loved to have seen what it was like here back in the 1950s, when the station was still staffed. I imagine that on a cold, dark night of harsh weather, this building would have been a warm, cosy refuge from the elements for passengers waiting for a train, or passengers who just got off a train before they started that walk across the hills. Still, all that is more than half a century in the past now. More's the pity. At least the station itself still remains, even if its current state is a far cry from its heyday. Anyway, this express train passing means that it's nearly time for my train, and indeed, by the magic of video editing, here it is. So this is the train going up the valley, which means that it comes off of the main line directly into the platform. Then, once any passengers have got on or off the train leaves the platform and heads into the switchback siding. As the train enters the switchback siding, you can see that the platform and the switchback siding itself are basically on the same level. And then the main line is higher than the station platform, but then lower than the switchback. In other words, it's on quite a steep gradient. Anyway, once the driver has changed ends again, the train leaves the switchback siding, rejoins the main line, and heads towards the tunnel above the station. And as it does, there's just one final glimpse of Tsubojiri Station itself. It really is a beautiful place, and to be honest, I'm losing count of the times I've been here now, but I don't care. I love this place, and I'd be happy to come back again later this year even. It really is that beautiful a spot. By the way, if you want to see the view from a train heading down the valley towards our Ikeda and Kochi, well, this is that view. Enjoy. There's no need for the train to use the switchback siding this time, so it just joins the main line directly and carries on down the valley. Like this. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Thank you for joining me on this visit to Tsubojiri. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again in another video very soon. For now though, goodbye.